Well, good morning from sunny Kyoto. It's now 6:56 a.m. Just got off the bus at about 6:30, made my way through the gigantic underground of the train station. Took a while because I couldn't find the right exit. I think I need to get coffee, and then we're gonna make our way to the Gion district. Now, the Gion district is very famous in Kyoto for its history of being the home of the geisha. So that'll be a nice area. Now, we won't find a geisha there. I'll explain more when we arrive. Now trust me when I tell you, this street will be absolutely crowded later, because all these shops haven't opened yet, and when they do, oh, trust me, it's absolutely packed. Like you can see here, do not enter private road. Now, that sign, there's a reason it's there. I'll get to that in a minute. But you see this beautiful preserved street behind me. Lovely buildings, old tea houses, old merchants' houses. Preserved street, which is lovely to see. This is Gion Corner. Now, Gion is the district where the geisha live, they train and they work. And I'd said to you, as you can see here, I said to you that there's very, very little chance of seeing a geisha, and there's a reason for that. So, of course, geisha are very highly respected in Japanese society. You know, they're masters of traditional arts, so tea ceremonies, dance and singing, music, calligraphy. They train in all this kind of stuff as an art form. And a few years ago, maybe only 2 years ago, there was a few incidents where tourists were chasing down the geisha on the street when they were walking along, going to work or going to a tea ceremony or training, something like that. And they'd chase after them and they'd pull their kimono and they'd try to get them to pose for photos. Just being general idiots. And that's caused a lot of the streets now in this district, in the Gion district, to be blocked off. Either nobody else is allowed apart from the people who work there, or else there's no photography allowed, and the fines are pretty hefty for something like that. So just because of a couple of tourists kind of making the geisha uncomfortable and disrespecting them, the whole thing is ruined for everybody. It's a shame, you know. I know I'm a tourist and everything, but like, I wouldn't, and I think most people wouldn't do something like that. It's just disrespectful, isn't it? You have to respect it when you're here. You can't make people uncomfortable. Just come across some kind of a temple complex here at the end of the Gion district. Well, maybe not the end of it, but on one side of it. That is a little map. Okay, well that's closed over there, I can see that. Where are we? Kenenji Temple Grounds. Where am I though? Good question. Jeez, this place has plenty of buildings, doesn't it? My god. I'll have to actually come back here in a while. Now, I'm not eating or drinking. There's a sign, don't eat or drink, but I have got this cup that I'm stuck with. So people might think that I am drinking while I'm here, which is not the case, but I don't want to seem like I'm being disrespectful. Now I've just come to one of the main temple areas here in Kyoto. Now I'm not actually going to film here much right now. I will come back here. I'm just passing through to go and check out if I can get to the busy street before it gets too busy. Now, very well might be already packed with people, but there's a chance that it's not. As a matter of fact, when I got off the bus, I had planned originally to go straight to Fushimi Inari, so the famous stairway up with 10,000 torii gates. Torii gates are these gates here, the smaller red ones. There's 10,000 of them now. I went up it before in the evening when I was in Kyoto, and it was just crowded. There's people everywhere, like you couldn't make your way up, because people up until about maybe a quarter up, it's crowded because everyone just wants to go up, do their little TikToks or, you know, stuff like that. So up until about a quarter of it gets packed. Now I went up to the very top, and honestly, when you get past that quarter and you go up, only the real dedicated people are the ones that actually want to go up. Now it's not actually that far up. It's not easy, but it's not difficult. But a lot of people only go up a certain amount to show off a few of those gates, take their little videos for TikTok, and then they head back down. So the further you go up, the less people there are. That was what I experienced last time, but I know if I'd have gotten here just say 5 a.m, I would have went straight to it. But I think 6 a.m, the sun was already up. I think people would have been already there for sunrise. So I'm kind of thinking, if I'm awake later, like, well, I will be awake later, but I mean, if I'm awake, what would I say? Just say if I'm not tired at about 11 p.m, then I might actually make my way there. It's open 24/7, it's lit up. The only thing is, when you get to the top, or when you start climbing up at night time, a lot of people that have done that have said that there's a lot of wild boar activity at night time. So it's a little bit not dangerous, because you know there's still very little chance that something will happen, but it's a little bit riskier than doing it during the day, because during the day, if there are boar around, there's hundreds of thousands of people going through these gates every day. So in the daytime, I think the boars would be kind of afraid, or they'd be more aware that there's people there, so they wouldn't come that way. But at night time, there's less chance, they're more active. But it just depends on if I'm like too tired later on, that I won't go. Then I'll do it tomorrow night instead. But that is a plan. It's not the plan, but it's a plan. And a lot of these streets are still preserved, as in the style of the buildings haven't been changed over the years. And these are, not all of them, some of them are shops, but a lot of these are actually houses as well. Imagine being lucky enough to live in a house that looks like that. There's a temple here, huh? Big bamboo forest behind it. It is nice to see the old preserved streets, isn't it? Something about the look of them. Now this pagoda over the distance is very, very popular for photos. I actually got my photo taken in front of it last time. No photography on that street though. So this area that I'm walking up to is usually full of tourists. I'm hoping. See, it's 20 past 8 now. I'm hoping that because a lot of the shops are not open yet, that hasn't attracted many tourists just yet, but I know it will have, because it's famous steps up here that everyone wants to get their photo taken in front of. Well, it's not crowded, but there's a few people here. Now the steps, when you're up the top looking down this way, it's lovely, especially in the evening time when it's lit up. So it's quiet there now, but trust me, it gets very, very busy. And up ahead, there's more steps. And when you go up to the left, that's kind of the main shop street of this area in Kyoto. Not just shops, but you've got all the cafes, all the restaurants. They all specialise in matcha, for example. That is the big thing here. It's getting matcha tiramisu, matcha ice cream, matcha tea, of course. Everything matcha. A big draw for this region, or this area of Kyoto. At the moment it's okay because a lot of the places are closed. I think people know that. Look, all the matcha again. Still fairly crowded though. The last time I was here it was full of school kids making their day trips out. Probably fun when you're a kid, but you can't see an awful lot because of the crowds, especially when you're a tiny little kid. And this is a lovely area as well.
This is the harvest Kyoto festival. Not all. So this is the main entry gate of the Kyoto temple. And this temple originally was founded 1,200 years ago.
To make our way up to the pagoda, will we? We've made it to the top. Well, almost the top. We'll go up and see the view of Kyoto from the pagoda up here. Let's check out the view from over here. Full view of Kyoto, former capital of Japan. But I'll talk about that more later. Even if you don't want to hear about it, I'll still talk about it. Small little shrine hidden over here behind the trees. I am getting a bit hungry though. Maybe I should look for somewhere to get a bit of breakfast. What do you think? Isn't that nice? Everyone writing their little messages. I wish that everyone has a good life. Yeah. There you go. Beautiful, isn't it? And up ahead you have the very famous pagoda. Everyone here is trying to get photos with it, except me. I got one last year. Check out that. I'm gonna get it. Well, I got the half egg sandwich because it's huge. I'll show you in a second. But if you give a review there and then and show her the screen, you get a choice of a free coffee, a free scoop of ice cream, or a little cup of sake. So I chose the sake. It's 9:30 in the morning. Bottoms up. I'll show you the sandwich in a minute. What great value, huh? Now check out this monster. Oh my god, it's falling apart. You see why I only got half? Oh my god. It's massive, isn't it? Now it's time for me to eat it, so I'm not going to show you this, it's going to be messy. Just finished it. Man, I've never had as much egg in one serving. Must have honestly about 5 eggs in that. At least it felt like it was 5 eggs. Good thing she gives it a spoon, because honestly there's so much egg in the actual toast itself that it falls back into the packet. So you have like a, what would you call it? Second helping, I suppose. 600 yen. 3.50, €3.50 with a free sake. Not bad. Not bad. It's not even 10 AM yet. I wish I could check in right now. I can't check in until 3, but I'm gonna head to the hostel and I'm gonna put my bag in. I can leave my bag there, so at least I can take that weight off my shoulders, literally. So I'm gonna head there and check it out. Maybe they'll let me check in early, who knows? Well, left my bag in, sat down for a bit, charged up my stuff. I'm just relaxing in the main lobby, and said, you know what, I'll go out because not far from here is the Pokemon Center in Kyoto. So I'm just gonna go to it and have a little wander around and check out what's there. But I also have a mission. Before I leave on Saturday, I need to get a crappy old Android, a cheap used one, because I think I've mentioned it before, so my main phone is SIM locked. I can only use the Irish provider. And I have an old iPhone that I use that is unlocked. I use it as like a hotspot. But on occasion, it's been known to kind of go crazy. Like, I think it's because the screen was replaced by an unofficial one, and I think when I did it I might have messed up one of the screws inside and it's messing with the sensor. So sometimes it just like it's as if it's pressing its own thing, like in a pattern, and it locks the phone, you see. If it enters the same pattern, it's weird, it's hard to explain. But when I go to China, you pay for everything through your phone. So if you don't have access to your phone and internet, you're kind of in big trouble, especially if you're paying for transport. So I need to have like just a phone that works as a hotspot. So that's my mission. I need to find one. And I don't want to find one in China because, well, I want to have it ready before I actually go. Man, it's hot. I'm gonna grab some cold water in the convenience store while I'm walking there. Yeah, so that's my mission anyway. Find a crappy old used Android because it's cheaper than an iPhone used. Pokemon umbrellas and everything. They're pretty expensive, but still. Well, got a phone. 8,000 yen, 50 euro, but I needed it. And it's probably the cheapest phone they had. It's an old Samsung, but it doesn't matter. But the point I recorded right now is because, or the reason I recorded right now is because I found a temple or shrine that has a gotcha machines outside it. It's a shrine, not a temple. Sorry about that. Yeah, kind of weird. But anyway, got the phone, that's the main thing. People in the store were a bit, you know, no smiles, not even a welcome in Japanese. I mean, not in English. Yeah, so happy that I got it, needed it. Oh, there you go, that was fine, man. Now that was takoyaki, in case you didn't know. So takoyaki is basically fried dough balls with octopus inside, and I think it's bonito flakes on top, which is shavings and dried tuna. Then they have like a sticky dark sauce. I don't know if it's a kind of a soy sauce or a barbecue. It's a weird flavour, but it's lovely. And you put mayonnaise on top then. But I think I burnt my mouth because the inside of it is so hot. It's like when you bite into a potato and you think, oh, it's fine, but then when you bite in, you're like, oh Jesus. That's how it was, so I had to get a bit of coffee, iced coffee. So I'm gonna go back and check in. I'm gonna relax, have a shower, because I didn't get one last night, of course. I was on the bus. And then I'll see what happens later. Now I got the takoyaki in the food market, which I will go to tomorrow. I think it's the most famous food street in all of Japan. But I'll go there tomorrow because tomorrow evening it's supposed to rain, so it's something indoors and something easy to do. And I am thinking about tonight, late at night, going to the Fushimi Inari, the 1,000 or 10,000 torii gate site. I'm not particularly interested in doing it at like 4 AM. I'd rather do it tonight when I know like the weather today has been clear, so it's supposed to be nice, at least no rain this evening. Whereas tomorrow, if it's supposed to rain tomorrow evening, it could start a lot earlier. And I don't really want to risk that, so I might just go today. We'll see how I feel later. The mini inn that I'm staying in, that's what it's called, mini inn Kyoto. It's down a nice little street, isn't it? It is on this street, like, it's nice and quiet. A couple of little shops on the way. Not major, but nice little street. Well, I've left my hostel on my way to the Fushimi Inari 10,000 torii gate shrine. It's very quiet out, obviously. By the time I get there, it'll be nearly midnight. It takes about half an hour to walk there. Now the only risk, of course, when I get there, the injury is not a problem from falling because the trail is lit up by lanterns along the way apparently, but the risk is the wildlife. So they definitely have wild boar. There's snakes potentially, and there's monkeys, and the monkeys are supposed to be assholes there. But look, if I scream loud enough, I'm sure I'll be safe. Now, shriek as in shriek of terror, not scream trying to frighten them away. Scream because I'm scared. Anyway, look, I'm about half an hour away from there, so I will update you when I get there. Oh, and just a little side note, I definitely ate those takoyaki earlier before they were cooled enough. I can feel the top of my mouth is burnt. It was worth it now, they were lovely, but you know, I was too greedy, I'll admit it. And as well as that, as I said, you can't be waiting long in these places. They rely on people in and out, so the next customers come along and pay. That's why they're so cheap. So you're kind of under a bit of pressure, you know? At least that's the way I feel when I go into these places. They probably don't really care if you take another couple of minutes, but still, you're in their domain. Well, I have arrived at the entrance. I'm actually using my phone for this bit because it's better in low light, to be quite honest. It's not perfect, but it's better. Now I hope that there's gonna be people here. I see people coming down, but I hope I'm not the only one going up. Let's check out the main shrine first. I think there are people going up as well. Phew. If I get killed by a wild boar, I don't want to be the only one that happens to. I guess we start to make our way up. This should be the start of the trail. Yeah. Oh, there's a few people here. Let's hope they stop halfway up and turn around. Or are they just taking photos? It's just crazy, and they've got all these words written on them. Now I don't know what they mean, but still. I guess they're a blessing of some kind, or some spiritual words. I think I'm going the right way. Honestly, I don't know what was making that noise. It sounded like a bloody frog. But it was coming from the trees. People told me this is the way back, but it seems to be leading up bloody higher. We have reached the tippy top of the mountain. Huh. You can hear monkeys. You might not be able to hear them, but you can hear that slight monkey noise. I'm not replicating it because I'll sound like more of an idiot than I usually do. But like, same thing with all these gates and the guardian statues. Bit creepy walking around this part now, not gonna lie. Mosquitoes. Spider webs everywhere. Just trying to avoid them. It's kind of creepy, isn't it? Like something out of bloody Elden Ring. Ugh, spider web. Jesus. I heard rustling there. I was like, is this an animal? No, it's just a fella. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little look at Fushimi Inari, the 10,000 torii gates. I certainly enjoyed it. Second time I bloody went up it, but it was so much better this time with less people. Way better to go late at night or else very, very early in the morning. I'm talking like 5, half 4 in the morning. Anyway, that's me done for today. I'm gonna head back to the hostel, get a bit of sleep. Did sleep last night, but you know, on the bus it's not a proper sleep, you're still tired. So I'll catch you in the morning. Take it easy.